If you haven't heard, iOS 18 is coming out with their next iPhone. And if you didn't know, it's the biggest thing to happen to iPhone. Well, since the iPhone. If you didn't know, like, that's a play on what they do with their announcements. They always say, this is the biggest thing since the last iPhone. And really, like, it's pretty underwhelming normally in what they're announcing. But in this case, I actually agree, like, iOS 18 is a big update to their iOS. And I'm really excited to see what we're able to do on the new phone. So I've already made a video on how to download that. If you're wondering how, there's a link in the description below, but it will walk you through how to get iOS 18 on your phone if you'd like to, before it's officially released. So you get the beta version in that. Now, one of the features I think that they did pretty well at announcing was Apple Intelligence. Now, if you didn't know, Apple Intelligence, artificial intelligence. So our intelligence is no longer artificial, but it's actually powered by an Apple. I thought it was a clever play on words. I think they're doing pretty good with this recent announcement. So I'm excited to dive in and show you my favorite 3 things about the new iOS 18. And as we do jump in, I do want to remind you guys, my name is Josiah. I'm a consultant at Next Tech Consultants, and we're here to help you guys grow and learn about any of the technology you're using. And if you're a business, you can reach out to us and we'd be happy to schedule an initial consultation with you. Just hop on over to our website and get that scheduled with us. All right, now let's dive into my favorite 3 things about the newest update. Obviously, my first one, I used to be a teacher and I used to teach math. So my first one is their Apple Math announcement. This was mind-blowing to me. We're gonna get into that in a second. The second one is Siri and Apple Intelligence, is kind of how they're working that together. Unfortunately, I can't show you that today because that actually doesn't come out until the new iPhone comes out, but we're gonna go over some of those features and I'm gonna show you what I mean by how this is gonna be really cool. And if you haven't noticed on this channel, we've talked a lot about artificial intelligence. So I'm really excited to dive in and show you that one and be like, hey, this is where it's going. This is what we can do. Create pictures on the fly, or even create documents and everything that you need right there. So I'm excited to show you those features through their website and show you what's going on there. The last part is their messaging. They're completely rechanging messaging. So I'm excited to show you that. But the first thing we're gonna dive into, we're gonna go onto our iPad right now and I'm gonna show you what Apple Math is all about and kind of those new features. All right, now we are gonna hop on our iPad. The first thing I'm gonna show you is that we are on iOS 18. So I can go here, iPad version, iOS 18. It is a beta release, like we talked about in our other video, so there could be some bugs with it, but it's pretty fun to play with. So if you were gonna click on notes, and this is my favorite feature. I just thought this was so cool that they took our handwriting and can make math expressions out of it. So for example, let's say 6 plus 3 equals, and then it sits there for a second and says, oh, look, do we need to solve it? We're gonna click solve, and you know it's 9. Now, I think it's pretty cool that they can take our handwriting and they try to make it look similar to our handwriting. Like I write 9s pretty sloppily. That looks like my 9-ish. So I think it's pretty cool they can do that, but let's take it another step. Let's put some parentheses around this and put the number 2 out here. And it automatically changes the answer. Now we have 18 because 6 plus 3 is 9, and then you multiply it to 2. And you can even go further. Let's put it cubed up here and see what happens. Now it's 1,458. It's automatically changing it as I change the expression. And if I want to go even further, I can do another parenthesis right here and write log, which, there you go. There's the log of 2 times 6 plus 3, which is 18, because that's in the parentheses. And then you cube all of that, and it's pretty cool. So I think it's really cool. They can take our handwriting, read it, first of all, because I can barely read what I wrote right there, and they're giving you the answer. Like, come on, guys. That's pretty cool. The next part I want to show you is if you type in y equals mx plus, let's say 5. So we all know it's this, we don't all know, but this is a slope formula of a line. So it's the slope times x plus the y-intercept. That's what b is. Y equals mx plus b. So b is the slope intercept. So I can go in here and I can say m equals 3. And I can say y equals, give it a second. We're actually going to also, because, oh, look at that, pops up, insert graph. I didn't even click it. Inserts graph. And so what you can do is you have your slope of 3 and you have your y-intercept of 5. So as you can see here, it is going right into 5. And for every 3 we go up, we go over 1. So that's what rise over run. So we're going up 3 over 1. That's what 3 is. But what's cool is if I'm like, hey, I actually don't, my slope isn't 3. We're going to change this to be 1 over 3. So now it's going to level out more and it will fix the graph. There it is. So now our rise is only 1 for every 3 we go over. So it's really cool because it will take this graph in my handwriting and update it in real time, which is phenomenal to me. Like, let's say I'm like, hey, I want to cross this out and I want to make this 10. It'll say, oh, you wrote a 1, but now we're back to 10, and it updated it in real time. Now, I know this is a really nerdy thing, and like, you might not like this feature as much as me, but I love it. I think this is the coolest thing they've done in their update. And it's just like, I don't know. I really like it. If you guys don't, I'm sorry, but that's my number one thing. That is definitely my number one thing. The next thing I want to go over with you guys is we're gonna hop on over to the computer and I'm gonna show you, go through their Apple Intelligence update and kind of explain to you what's going on here. All right, as you can see, we're gonna go through Apple's website. Now, we're gonna go through all the different features. We're just gonna scroll through this really quick. Coming beta in this fall. So it is coming to us soon. It's not gonna happen until the newest phone comes out. It's not in this current beta. So when we scroll down, it says like, hey, here's all these things. You're getting it done effortlessly. Shows you some pictures. Pretty cool. Like, you know, I like how their website scrolls. They have some good marketing, good web designers. But we can write with intelligent new tools everywhere words matter. So now we can go in and we can say, hey, I want to write to Apple Intelligence, just like in ChatGPT, and they will then give you examples and fix things and write stuff for you. So this is really cool because now we can go in our iPhone directly without using a different app or anything else, and it will help you write things and compose messages. So this will help you get quicker. I'll be curious to see how people use this as just the Messenger app and like how people will now respond to things. Are we going to having our AIs respond to each other? Like if you text me, I'll respond with my AI and then you respond with your AI. So who's really talking now? Anyways, I think it's going to be fun. Then we scroll down here. We have writing and focus and communication. So you can say, hey, I'm doing friendly, professional, concise type of messaging. So what kind of writing are you giving them? Am I at work or am I being friendly to the person? Or do I want to be really to the point? And so these are the different options you have there, which is cool. They give you different writing styles. This one I think is really cool. Delightful images created just for you. So if you're writing a paper and you say, I'm going to draw it, then you circle it and it's like, hey, I just created an image just for you. And what's really cool is you can send those as like pictures in here. You can do it in here in notes and it will create the picture for you and give you an image. I think that's super cool. Like instead of having to do this outside in Copilot or ChatGPT or somewhere else, it's all built into your phone for you. Now, again, with AI generative stuff, you can do emojis, stickers, all that stuff as well. And then this goes into the next part where you would hope Apple Intelligence would come in, is the new era for Siri. So they're going to update Siri and give you the functionality that lets you do more with Siri, like play road trip classics or share ETA with chat, and we'll go through and actually share things. I think that was there before though, the share ETA. I'm pretty sure that was there before. So now it's going to be more integrated. Siri will be able to use apps however you give them permissions, because Apple's really important on that. If you don't give them permission to use an app, it's not going to. And then you can say, hey, open the message app, write your message, tap plus to send later. So you're able to do more steps with Siri as well. It's also going to be more communicative. So you're able to have more of a conversation where she doesn't just take your last response and make that the only thing she responds to. It will build on top of each other, which is really nice when you're talking with AI and trying to like figure something out, like troubleshooting. I'm like, hey, tell me about this piece. Now tell me about this piece of your answer, and expand on it. So it's now going to be more concise, and you're going to be able to have conversations as well. And obviously they're always important with privacy with Apple. Like, you get to choose what is being stored. You get to choose what they use. It's used only for your requests. Your data is never stored, so they're not storing your data. And verifiable privacy promise, which I don't really know what that means, but you'll probably be able to, get in some legal jargon there. Chat GPT seamlessly integrated, so they are tied in with Chat GPT. You're able to use that, like I said, to create pages, emails. This goes more into a computer, but I think you're going to be able to do it with your smartphone as well. If you open up Pages in Apple Mail, you'll be able to start then using ChatGPT to create and respond to messages, which is basically, this is how Copilot works. This is how all of it's working, where it ties into ChatGPT, uses that, and then runs their software on top of it. All right, so guys, if you're excited about AI, Apple intelligence on your smartphone and moving forward with the new iOS release, let me know what you're most excited about in the comments below. But as you're doing that, here's the next big thing that I think is a huge update, and it's called messaging. So now, what's really frustrating is when you talk to somebody that has an Android device. Now, I know this is an Apple problem. It's not an Android problem. I don't want to hear about that in the comments about it's all Apple's fault. I know it is. I'm well aware this is Apple's fault. Like, they don't let us send you guys messages. You can't send us large messages. It's super frustrating until now. They're going to now take RCS for messages, which means rich communication services. So if you ever used to send a picture to somebody on an Android phone, Apple was like, no, we're using old technology. And you would get this really small image. It's like, it would just blur out. It was so frustrating. You can only send like two second long videos because you're recording in 4K. So now we can actually send the larger format messages with rich communication services. So I'm super excited about this update. This isn't something you get to see on your iPhone, so I'm not showing it to you, but it's really cool because then now we get to actually communicate with people outside of the blue bubble. As much as I love the blue bubble, it's frustrating that they limited us before. And now they're opening it up, so now we can send larger messages. I'm excited about it because I hated sending Dropbox links and all these other different links to people that didn't have an iPhone. So, personal problem, I'm aware, Apple problem, I'm aware. But I'm excited it's going to get fixed. The other part that goes along with messaging is they're now introducing satellite messaging. I'm going to pull up a quick article right here for us. And in this article, it talks about connecting to a satellite with your iPhone. With an iPhone 14, 14 Pro, 15, 15 Pro, you can connect to an iPhone satellite to text emergency services, request roadside assistance, and share your location with friends and family, all while you're off-grid with no cellular Wi-Fi coverage. Now, there are some stuff down here that says like, hey, make sure you update the newest iOS, make sure you do these things before you go off-grid so it works. But what's really cool is they're going to bring this to just regular text messages. So messaging with friends. And what's cool is as you message with your friends, they will be encrypted from end to end. So even if you're sending it over a satellite, it shouldn't be able to be intercepted because it encrypts it on the phone, then it gets to your friend's phone and unencrypts it. So it's encrypted traffic from person to person, which is really nice. They're caring about privacy there. It is the same requirements for satellite messaging as it is for this, where it's like, hey, we want to make sure we have satellite text emergency services. You do have to have an iPhone 14 or newer. Apple has not released a statement on what the cost will be. All they've said so far is that it's free for current iPhone users. So I don't have more information on that, but that's what they've stated so far. All right, guys, let me know what your favorite new feature is in iOS 18 in the comments below. I'm excited to see this get released with the new iPhone, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. Have a great night, and I'll see you later.